Hello YouTube, Richard Kenobi here, and my Star Wars blog is back. And last time we left off, we looked at episode 2. We looked at the Clone Wars animated series, the first one, and now we're looking at the second one. Now, I made a few errors in my last video, but that's alright, we all do, so, sorry, it's cold outside, so that's why I'm wearing a jacket and I'm wearing my Rainbow Dash shirt. So anyway, to Star Wars, this one, I have to say, surprising as it may be, this one is better than the first one, which this one the second one, Volume 2, let's just go with that, Volume 2 felt a little bit shorter than Volume 1, because Volume 1 actually, they showed different episodes, so it was like a serial back then. And, so back then, pretty much, they would show an episode each Tuesday, if I remember, and it would continue. But with Volume 2, they decided to do that differently. They decided to make it a little animated movie. And this one, the animation was far, far better than the first one, It really does, and I'm glad they chose 2D hand-drawn animation rather than 3D, because the 3D would look crappy. And back then, it wasn't very common that they did that. Now, with the Clone Wars series, they just decided to use 3D animation, or should I say CGI animation. But let's get into Clone Wars. Now, the Clone Wars picks up right where the last one left off, Volume 1, with Ki being the last Jedi to face General Grievous, and so the ARC troopers are called in to help him, and as you can see, it is surrounded by battle droids, so they decide to drop little explosion grenades, or should I say little mini detonators, and so they go in and they try and rescue Ki. So obviously they go in and they start shooting him, and this General Grievous is just too badass. He does all these parries, these dodges. He just shows how fucking awesome and intimidating he is. So, obviously, they can't kill him. So, Ki insists that they stay and fight them. But as we're addressed, they can't stay because the survivors will die. So, they had to retreat. So, it's then that one of the ARC troopers detonates the detonators. And General Grievous survives. I don't know how he got in that blast radius anyway, but he survives, and now we cut to a random flashback with young Anakin and Qui-Gon Jinn. And Qui-Gon is telling Anakin that, you must go into the tree, and this is your final test. So then, after we cut back from that, we see it's just Yoda meditating. And we see the council, sorry, I get that mixed up. We see the council talk about how this General Grievous is changing the shape of the war. So now Obi-Wan insists that they go ahead and fulfill the trials and promote Anakin to Jedi Knight. And of course, some of the counseling likes it, some of them don't. So Yoda decides, we need all knights. So a knight he will be. So then we check up on Anakin and Padme's relationship, and we see that, it's really not doing good for them because, once Anakin, like Anakin said, even if I was promoted to Jedi Knight, we can't keep doing this. And it's a shame that, they have to keep their love a secret, which I'll be talking about in a later episode, why Jedis are not allowed to love. And, yeah, so we see C-3PO gets a new gold skin, which is kind of weird, isn't it? And so, yeah, so Anakin is called upon by Obi-Wan for reasons unknown. And we see them bicker, and Anakin just outright hurt Obi-Wan. He just crossed the line, Obi-Wan saying, you're not a little boy anymore, but as long as you are my student, you will heed my wisdom. And Anakin says, you're right. I'm not a little boy, but as far as your wisdom goes, you're no Qui-Gon Jinn. That right there, that was just hurtful. And we see that, Obi-Wan and Anakin are talking about how, you know, Anakin lived up to what Qui-Gon thought he would be, or did know he would be. I know that didn't make sense. Then we finally get this awesome scene that I'll never forget when I saw this as a kid, where all the Jedi are cloaked and they hold up their lightsabers like this, and it's just an awesome ceremony. And we see Yoda cut off his little ponytail, so now he's a Jedi Knight. So then, while that's going on, we get, you know, just a montage of Anakin, you know, going around saving the Republic. And then we see that Obi-Wan is trapped on this random farm planet with a shield with other clones. And, you know, it takes them, like, a month just to get it down. So Anakin comes by, and he's got a bag full of bugs that he eats. It's disgusting, actually. So, yeah, so he pretty much eats those, and he shows them where he got them. So that's when they decide, we gotta go there. Obi-Wan says... He figures out the plan, like, so I assume we've got to do this. And he says, yep, let's go. So, of course, they go around the sewers, you know, having a little brother-brother talk. It's kind of funny, actually. And, yeah, so they get there and they destroy the shields. Then we cut to the Wookiees, who find this giant droid ship, and the Wookiees are preparing for war. And the CSI are going around galaxy to galaxy, just taking over planets filled with other creatures and not stormtroopers, clone troopers. So yes, after that we see Count Dooku training General Grievous and giving him some speech that I've never heard any other Sith give. So then, pretty much, Chancellor Palpatine and Mace Windu call saying, we have spotted General Grievous on this planet. So they go there, and General Grievous is not there. So now, apparently, it was just a diversion. So Grievous can take an army of droids to Coruscant, and they can attack the city. So we get all of the Jedi trying to defend the city. Of course, we have this little side mission where General Tin goes out into space, and he tries to lead them. And we see that's when it was leading up to Episode 3. I don't have time to explain it, but it's a good scene. Check it out. And Mace Windu, of course, gets his ship destroyed, and he pilots this droid ship, which I don't know how anyone else would have thought of that. So yes, then we see Yoda, who is just being a fucking badass, just using the Force to smash droid ships and droid armies. And, you know, they finally figure out that, you know, it's a chance to, you know, this isn't right. You know, they're attacking the city, but there's no plans to destroy it or take over the temple or the Senate. So they know that they're after Palpatine. So Shaak Ti, on the other hand, tries to get him there, but General Grievous just pops out of nowhere. And then we get to the most gruesome deaths. You know, General Grievous starts hacking off or just slicing up all of these troopers, and it's gruesome to say the least. So, to put it shortly, you know, they outrun him, they lose a couple of clone troopers, and then, you know, Shaak Ti leads them down to I want to say basement, where, like, there's this giant train transport. So she stays and battles these bodyguards with the staffs. And, yeah, and so, but we're going to take a break from that, and we're going to cut to Anakin and Obi-Wan. So they go to this planet, find the creature, and they interrupt some kind of tradition, I guess, where, like, warriors are going to find out what's going on. They're like, why is the mother sick? So Anakin is, of course, chosen because he has a robot hand. So he goes there, and he travels, and he finds them, the Machine Empire, not the Machine Empire, I'm sorry, whatever. He finds them experimenting on them, and, you know, it's a plan to use the natives to, you know, back up the droid army. So Anakin stops that, but unfortunately, him and the other one are able to break the natives' mind control, which is in their chest. So yes, after that, he destroys, all of their base, and yeah, so he just outright kills them, Darth Vader all. He does it in a way Darth Vader would do it. So yes, after that, everything's fine between the natives and Obi-Wan and Anakin. So now we cut back and we see Shao Ti is still fighting the bodyguards, and then General Grievous outright kills the 2 Jedi, who we'll never see again, and takes the Chancellor, and then, hangs Shao Ti in these little shock, I don't know how to describe what he hanged her in. I really don't. I mean, if you've got a better name for it, then let me know. So yeah, Mace Windu gets there, and he breaks General Grievous's breathing apparatus, so now he's, that's why he coughs. Like, that's why he does that. So yeah, so then he calls and he says the Chancellor's been taken. So that is when it is finally done. We finally get to the end of this. So now we're leading into episode 3, and oh man, this was sorry, gotta check something here. There we are. Sorry, folks, sorry. I get random text, sorry. So yes, in conclusion, how does the Volume 2 hold up, and is it better than the first one? On a whole, yes. And as for shorter side, not really. But it's as I said, they were looking to make it a little mini film, so it worked. I mean, the hand-drawn animation was far better in Volume 2 than it was in Volume 1, which came out in 2004, and this came out in 2005. So yes, my final verdict for Volume 2, I don't have much bad things to say about it. No nitpicks at all. So yeah, my verdict for Volume 2, Star Wars The Clone Wars, is a solid 10 out of 10. It was. I mean, it almost was like I forgot I was watching a cartoon, because I didn't see, hand-drawn characters. I saw the characters. So yes, guys, that concludes my review of the Clone Wars films, and now it begins the holy grail of Star Wars. Yes, it is time. It is time. So expect this review tomorrow. Thank you all for watching. This is Richard Kenobi saying, may the Force be with you all.